how to read the notes and rests we've been learning on the music stuff. Let's start with a review of the ones that we've already done. So far we have learned ta, quarter note. Can you say that?
Ta, quarter note.
Great. Now let's clap a pattern. Ta, 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 ta.
Ta, 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 ta.
Great. So now let's review. This is our rest. And remember, in music, rest makes sound or silence?
Silence.
Good. So now we're going to put our quarter rest and our quarter note together. Repeat after me. Ta, ta.
Ta, ta.
Good. So now that we've reviewed some of our notes that we've been learning, let's talk about what we're going to be using the materials for today that are on your table. So now we're going to be looking at what is called the music staff. Okay? So on this page, I want you to look at this picture. How many lines do you see on the page?
5.
5. Good. So in music, when we look at the music staff, we're going to always see 5 lines, and in between those lines, how many spaces do you think there are?
4.
Good. So when we see our 5 lines and 4 spaces, we're going to always count them. Which way did you count your lines?
From the bottom to the top.
Okay. So we always need to remember that we're going to count from the bottom to the top in music. And we're going to be using these lines and spaces, but we also are going to have to use these lines and spaces to put our notes on. But we've been talking about our music alphabet. Who can tell me what letters do we only use for our music alphabet?
A.
Good. We use the letter A. And what letter do we go through for our music alphabet?
G.
Very good. So we use letters A through G. So how many letters is that we are using?
7.
7.
Very good. But what do we do when we get to the letter G? Do we just stop?
Start over.
Start over.
Where are we going to start over from? What letter?
A.
Very good. We always go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and start back at the letter A. So what are we doing when we do that? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and start back at letter A. What are we creating?
An octave.
Very good. And then that octave, what did we create it by starting over again? Each time we do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
A pattern.
Very good. So, now we're going to look at the materials in front of you. So what I want you to do now is I want you to create your own staff with the 5 lines and make sure that there are 4 spaces in between. Good. We're going to be using this staff today and our music alphabet, and we're going to be putting them on those 5 lines and in those 4 spaces. Now, this time for our staff, we're going to be using something called the treble clef. Can you say treble clef?
Treble clef.
Treble clef.
When we see a treble clef, it means instruments like the flute, the violin, and the piano are playing those notes. Now, when you think of a flute, does a flute play high notes or does a flute play low notes?
High notes.
Very good. So the flute is a high instrument that's playing those notes in the treble clef. So now, take your right hand. Let's look at it. How many fingers do you have on your right hand?
5.
And in between your fingers, how many spaces do you have?
4.
4. And remember, which way are we counting? Top to bottom or bottom to top?
Bottom to top.
Very good. So now, each line has a note. And on there, we're going to put a word. So repeat after me. Every
Every
good
good
boy
boy
does fine.
fine.
So what did the word every start with?
E.
Very good. That's going to be our first line. We didn't start with the letter A. We started with what letter?
E.
Very good. Good is starting with what letter?
G.
That's our second one. So what was our first one?
Every E.
Good.
Good
G,
Okay. Boy.
B,
B,
So we go back to the bottom. We have
E,
E.
G, B,
Very good. Next one. Does.
D,
Does. D. And our last one.
fine.
F,
F. Fine. So from the bottom.
E,
E. G. B. D.
F.
F. So now, every good boy does fine is on our what? Lines or in our spaces?
Lines.
lines.
Now let's go to our spaces. If here was E, if we're going in alphabetical order, we go up one letter and it's
F,
very good. Then we go to the second line, it's
G,
we go up one.
A,
Very good. We got to A, so what did we do? Did we stop or start our pattern again?
Start the pattern again.
Thank you. So from A we go to
B,
B, and then B going up one letter,
C,
C, we go up to,
D,
and in our last space we have
E,
E,
E. So let's go back to the bottom. What was that first letter that you put
E,
on the line, but in the space we put?
F,
F,
Good. So let's skip, and we go to what letter?
A,
Very good. Skip again,
C,
and skip one more time.
E,
What word does F-A-C-E spell?
face,
Good. So we've got every good boy does fine on the lines and face in the spaces. So now on your staff, you're going to take the palms and I want you to put a palm on each line going up, remember from the bottom to the top. And then if you still have space, put them in the spaces for F-A-C-E. Okay, good job.